Hello everybody, Low Tier for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new video. This time around we're going to be doing a Cyberdark deck profile. So I really like Cyberdarks. I've always liked them ever since I was a kid and watching GX and stuff, and I tried building them way back like a year or two ago. Never managed to get around to finishing it, but then we got the new stuff, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm finishing this. So, yeah, I've built it. I freaking love this deck. I feel like that it's a really strong contender for being a good rogue deck this format, at least until Spiral come out and just like, hey, we're in Zoo 2.0 or something. But anyway, so at least before Spiral come out, this deck is not half bad for being a rogue deck and for being, you know, just not bad pick for going to a regional or something, I think. Now that being said, though, I was not able to go to my recent regional because of work, so yeah, I wasn't able to test it out. But hey, maybe somebody else who gets to go to regionals more often than I do, one of you guys can do something. So anyway, so first up we have triple Cyberdark Horn. Horn is well, you kind of got to play 3 of each Cyberdark. I mean, I've seen some builds play 2. Those builds that play less monsters are also the card of demise builds. This is not a card of demise build. I don't like card of demise in this deck, but you can play 2 or 3 depending on what your preference is for each of the Cyberdark for main monsters, the level 4s. So all 3 level 4 Cyberdarks, whenever they are normal summon, you can target a level 3 or lower dragon in your graveyard, equip it onto it, and it gains the attack of that monster. And then if it would be destroyed in battle, you can destroy that monster. And then they each have their own unique effect. Horn does piercing, which is pretty good overall. It's just, you know, being able to trample over stuff is always nice. And then I play 3 Edge. Edge does the same thing, obviously, but can attack directly for half damage. Really nice for being able to just poke and trigger cannon and claws effects so that you don't have to worry about kamikazing into something bigger. And then we got 3 Keel. Yes, I know I got two super first eds and then a freaking common. I thought I had to place up, but oh well. So Keel honestly is the worst one. If I had to really just pick one of the 3 original Cyberdarks for being the worst, it's definitely Kill, because all he does is whenever he kills a monster in battle, your opponent takes 300 damage. Yeah, 300 damage, that's gonna help out a lot, I know, right? But yeah, he's still very useful for just being another Cyberdark name. Hopefully we'll get retrains of these 3 sometime soon. That'd be awesome. Anyway, so next up I play 3 Cannon. So Cannon and Claw are what really make this deck really good. So Cannon, you can pitch from your hand to the graveyard, add any of the level 4 machine Cyberdarks from your deck to your hand. And then if he's equipped onto a monster, and that monster battles during damage calculation, you can send a monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then if he's destroyed by equipped onto a monster, you can draw 1 card, which is really good. You can only use each of the 3 effects once per turn, but it's still really good effects. And then we got 3 Cyberdark Claw. Arguably Claw is better than Cannon because of the sheer utility that Claw does. So Claw does the same thing as Cannon, but instead of grabbing a monster, he grabs a Cyberdark spell or trap card. Currently there's only 2 spells, which really sucks because really honestly this deck could really benefit from more support. But I digress. So whenever he's in the graveyard, well, whenever he's equipped onto a monster and that monster battles, you can send a monster from your action deck to the graveyard and, well, just do stuff like that. And then also, if he's sent while equipped, destroyed while equipped, you can add 1 Cyberdark from your graveyard to your hand. You can even grab himself. You know, it doesn't say one Cyberdark other than a Claw. So you can grab himself, you can grab a Cannon, it doesn't matter. You're mainly going to be grabbing Cannon or Claw off of his effect, but still really good. And finally, 1 Max C for just being able to counter my opponent's stuff. If I had the money for Ghost Dash, I'd probably play 2 to 3 of that as well, especially once Spirals come out. But I digress anyway, so I'm not rich. Next up we got triple Cyberdark Inferno, the field spell for this deck that really helps out this deck along with Claw and Cannon. So this card is really good. While it's active on the field, all of your Cyberdarks that are equipped with a monster cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects. That means along with the Cyberdark's own inherent battle protection, you effectively have 2,400 beat sticks that cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects or targeted by card effects, which is really good. And pretty scary, honestly. Like, if Cyberdarks is one of those decks where if your opponent doesn't stop the deck from getting rolling, once this deck gets rolling, it's really hard to stop. And it's really cool how this deck works. I love it. Anyway, so then this card has 2 other effects. Once per turn, you can target a Cyberdark you control, return it to the hand and normal summon out another Cyberdark, or you can summon out that same monster. It just basically gives you an extra normal summon to reset your Cyberdark machines after they destroyed a claw or cannon, save themselves, stuff like that. Also lets you fiddle around with stuff, so like let's say you have cannon equipped from last turn and you don't want cannon on there anymore, you want claw, so you just return it. Cannon goes to grave, summon out the monster, equip a claw onto it, so that's really good. And then if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you get to search out a fusion spell card or polymerization from your deck to your hand. Really, really good. You're maybe going to be grabbing Overload Fusion off of that, but there's a few, yeah, there's one other fusion in here that you can play. Then we got Triple or Darkness. Everything in this deck except for Maxi is dark, so this kind of goes without saying. Triple Pot of Duality. This deck almost never special summons, which is why Card of Demise also works in this deck. But you kind of got to tailor the deck to be able to play Card of Demise, and I really don't like Card of Demise in this deck in general. So 3 Pot of Duality. Helps add a lot of consistency to the deck and just lets you dig for your cards. Then we got 2 Cyberdark Impact. The most expensive card in this deck, hilarious enough, because it's only had 2 printings. This card is really good. It's a better version of Miracle Fusion, but better as in like kind of like soft quotation marks there. It can only summon 1 monster, and that's Cyberdark Dragon, your original Cyberdark Dragon. So you return one Horn, Edge, and Keel from your hand field or graveyard to the deck, and then special summon a Cyberdark Dragon, treating it as a fusion summon. Just a really good card overall. 2 Overload Fusion for being able to make Cyberdark Dragon and Cyberdarkness Dragon super easy. 1 Future Fusion, because this card is really stupid when it goes off. If this resolves, you get a Cyberdarkness Dragon and all 5 Cyberdarks in graveyard, which is just really, really good in general. 1 Dark Hole, 1 Regeki, 1 Force Burial, just simply to, well, Dark Hole and Regeki to clear out my opponent's stuff, and Force Burial to get my dragons in graveyard. Especially once we get Conjoined Bird Ren in Circuit Breaker, Force Burial is going to be really, really nice. Even more so then, because Conjoined Bird Ren is not searchable. Anyway, so next up for the traps, we got 2 Quaking Mirror Force, just being able to stop my opponent's stuff and protect my stuff. 2 regular Mirror Force, 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Ring of Destruction, and 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. So yeah, just general disruption and stuff. I might take out some of the spells to add more traps, I don't know. That, or I might drop down the 3 level 4 Cyberdarks to add even more traps. I'm still testing out a bunch of stuff, but right now I've been really liking this build, and these traps have been working out pretty well. I've noticed that Floodgate Trap Hole is becoming really popular as of late, though. That's kind of out of nowhere. Anyway, so next up for the extra deck. I'm going to be honest, this deck almost never goes into its extra deck, and really honestly, you mostly use it for utility purposes with Claw. Like 10 to 1 you do. First and foremost, arguably the best card in this extra deck is Gudo's Elder Entity, Entis. The summoning is completely irrelevant. The big thing about her is that when she's sent to the graveyard, you can pop a card on the field. So you attack with like your Horn, then it's equipped with a Claw. You use Claw's effect to send Entis to graveyard from your extra deck, and then you get to pop a card, whether it be a monster, spell, trap, whatever, your opponent's Pendulum Zones, doesn't matter. You get to just pop a free card. I'm going to play 2 Cyberdark Dragons because I got 2 Cyberdark Impacts in here, and I figure that also with Overload Fusion and Future Fusion, there's just so many different ways to get them out. Same thing with Cyberdarkness Dragon. I play 2 of each of these guys. Again, like really, you don't really use the extra deck except for utility for good old Claw, so you get a lot of free room and stuff. There's not a lot of good other targets other than Entis and 2 other cards in here. So Cyberdarkness Dragon and Cyberdark Dragon. Cyberdark Dragon, whenever he's Fusion Summoned, and he has to be Special Summoned via Fusion Summon, if I remember right. Yeah, cannot be Special Summoned except by Fusion Summon, or by the effect of Impact, which is always great. And Cyberdark Dragon gains 100 attack for every monster in graveyard, and whenever he's summoned, you can equip 1 dragon in your graveyard onto him. And if you'd be destroyed by battle, you can send that monster to graveyard, which is cool, I guess. But the big thing is, if you summon Cyberdarkness Dragon, it's so incredibly cool. So, Cyberdark Dragon needs the 3 original Cyberdarks. Cool, okay. Well, the new Cyberdark Dragon, Cyberdarkness Dragon, needs 5 Cyberdark effect monsters, which is quite taxing, needless to say, but you got a bunch of different ways to summon him. And the big thing about him is that whenever he's summoned, you can equip one dragon or machine in your graveyard onto him. So generally speaking, you're going to be equipping a dragon. And then if your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send one. He's basically Cyberdark. He's basically a Cyber Dragon Infinity. You can send one equipped card you control to the graveyard, negate that effect, and destroy it. And he doesn't have a protection effect, surprisingly, other than the negation effect. It's kind of funny how this deck mirrors Cyber Dragons to an extent, which I love, honestly. And then for the 1-0 fusions, I play one 5-headed dragon. Generally speaking, is one of the first things you dump with Claw if you can, and then you just equip them on the Cyber Darkness Dragon, and then you go off from there. And then one Chimera, Predaplant Chimera Phlasia, because they're in the next standby phase after this card was sent to the graveyard. You can add one fusion spell card or polymerization from your deck to your hand, so you generally pitch it to search out your Overload Fusion or Future Fusion. And then I also play one Cyframe Lord Omega, just somebody to recycle stuff back in my extra deck, or my main deck too, it doesn't really matter. One Abyss Dweller for the XCs, then we got Castel, you know, just general utility. Heavy Armored Train Iron Wolf, because the level 4s are machines. One Utopia, and then Utopia Lightning. So yeah, general utility, and again, this deck doesn't go into its extra deck too much, so you notice that there's no links. There's no reason to be playing links in this deck, honestly. Not in my experience, at least, because this deck just doesn't go into its extra deck as much as you would think, but it really does use like half of it for Claw effect, which is always great. So guys, that's the deck profile. What do you guys think of Cyberdarks? I freaking love this deck. It's just so fun. I love it. It's a really fun troll deck and just slow-paced, beat-down, burn deck, whatever you want to call it. I've seen people describe it in like 50 different ways. It's a great deck, especially if you just like slower-paced, beat-down decks. I really like it. Anyway, so guys, what do you think of my Cyberdark deck profile? Do you have any ideas, recommendations, or concerns? Please leave your comments down below. I always try to read your comments. I may not always respond, but I do always read them. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and see y'all later. Peace out. Goodbye.